CHAP tales. Don't you wanna hear some CHAP tales? We've got to that time again. It is time for CHAP tales. Okay, so I'm just going to continue from last episode's CHAP tale because it was sort of like two tales in one, if you like. So I'm with Josh Wilson. We're at the Shepherd's Bush Empire, and we've just watched a great set from The Who. Roger Daltrey, what a vocalist, mate. So we've just seen them. We've got these like backstage passes, and like we're sort of having it, if you like, with these trays of Jack Daniels and pints of beer, and we're just going mad. Anyway, when the gig's finished, this sort of after party badge allowed us to go downstairs where the crowd was standing, but everybody's been slung out, you know what I mean, end of the gig, go home, you know what I mean. Then they've sort of said to us, right now everybody can move downstairs. We've had a bit of a sweep up and that, clean the floor a little bit, and we stuck some tables out, load of grub on each table, and obviously there's a free bar there and that. And me and Josh was just like, I was blown away. I was just like, it was like the best present that anyone had ever given me. It was just unbelievable. I was just like so thankful that Josh had took me with him, you know what I mean? It was probably down to the fact that Amon was, I don't know, had some prior arrangement with his family or something. He had to go out for a meal with a family or whatever, and so Josh sort of let me come, but I don't care because I am very grateful. Amazingness, it was amazing. Yeah. So anyway, so we're downstairs. Had a couple more drinks and feeling a little bit out of place. You know what I mean? Because I'm standing there with this Union Jack shirt on, thinking I'm some rock star, but yeah, we're not quite there, are we? Because we're the ones in the wings watching when we could have been on that stage. But anyway, like, so we're downstairs. There's people everywhere. Like, I'm looking around at all these faces, and I'm not really recognising anyone. I mean, Josh obviously had people he knew there from work because, like, he worked for Bill Kerbersley's firm. So I mean, there was obviously people there that Josh recognised, and I don't know, like there was like some models there and musicians and just all the usual sort of things, bits and pieces, you know what I mean? Well, anyway, like I love grub, I love food. I just love food. So I'm looking at these tables thinking, I'm going to go and get a plate and I'm going to pile it up to the sky and then I'm just going to pour it down my throat. So anyway, I'm over there checking things out and that, and this fella comes over, like, and he was out of his nut more than me. And I don't know whether... Look, right, we thought that this geezer was Keith Richards. So it either was or it weren't. Do you know what I mean? I was a bit out of it. Josh was out of it. But it goes down that this fella was Keith Richards. And he's come up to me, like, and he's like, brrr, you know what I mean? You know, Keith Richards is like Return of the Living Dead or something, you know what I mean? And he's sort of like, he's next to me and he's looking at all this food and that, and he can see that I'm taking like nachos and guacamole and some dips and that, and he's sort of like, he's looked at the guacamole and he's looked at me and he's gone, what's this shit then? And I just, I sort of looked at him and I just went, it's guacamole. And he's like, oh, right. And then he's like, oh, that's the shit made out of avocado, innit? And I was like, yeah. And then he had like a roll up between two of his fingers on his right hand, like, and he stuck his hand in the old the the crisps, the potato chip thing, what they call nachos, yeah. So he's put his hand in the nachos. He's put a few nachos and that, and then he's shoved his hand in the guacamole, and I'm not even joking. It was dripping off his fingers, everything. And then he shoved it in his gob, and he's gone, yeah, it's all right, that. And then he just bowled off, like, and I'm just standing there, like, thinking, what is going on? This is great. And then, so I'm still standing there, and then this one of these models has come over, like, you know what I mean, like, slim as anything, like a skyscraper, you know what I mean, beautiful face. And anyway, she's like, oh, guacamole, or whatever, do you know what I mean? Like, she's picked up some nachos or whatever, and she ain't shoved her hand in it. She's like nicely had some, whatever. She's eating a bit of it, like, and then she's done it again. But I've looked down, and basically she's got this nacho with guacamole on it, yeah. But then I've looked, and it's got the roll up that the supposed Keith Richards had in his hand when he stuck it in the guacamole, you know what I mean? And I was like, do you know what I mean? I should have said something, but I was just a bit like bewildered with what was going on. It was just mental, like, so I just sort of stood there and watched this model put the nacho, the guacamole, and the topping of roll up into her mouth, chew, swallow, smile, and bowl off. And I was just like, this is just fucking nuts, man. So anyway, but it was mental because the Who and Noel Gallagher and Andy Bell, they never came back to this after party thing, like, so I mean, or didn't come out from their dressing room or whatever backstage. So like me and Josh had a few more drinks, got a bit more drunker. I ate a load more food, and then we decided that we would go to Cigarettes and Alcohol, which was a club on Wardour Street in the West End that we used to go to like fairly regularly. So we went outside, jumped in a sherbet, and flew down to the West End from the bush. And we got to Wardour Street, paid the cab driver, went into Cigarettes and Alcohol. To tell you the truth, I don't know how the cab driver let us in his cab, and I don't know how the bouncers on the door of Cigarettes and Alcohol let us in, because we was out of it. Anyway, went upstairs and that, and then you used to get like a few of the little mods, you know what I mean, their suits and that, doing their little dancing or whatever. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love all that, I love mods and all that, but we was a little bit more council estate mods. Well, Josh weren't. I mean, Josh had a very nice house in Hampstead, but he hung around with us, so I think it sort of like drips onto you as well, you know what I mean? Yeah, so anyway, we're up there, we're like having a dance, if you like to say that, and drinking more drink, and anyway, just seconds later, I have thrown up everywhere. It was like, how did that much stuff get inside me, you know what I mean? I just threw up all over the dance floor, over about 6 mods. It was mental. Obviously, I got chucked out, and Josh left as well. And then we went home and like said goodnight, and I just went home and laid in my bed, out of my face. I was just laying there, and I was just like, that was great. That was brilliant. Josh, cheers.
CHAP tales. Don't you wanna hear some CHAP tales?